folks, Queen Roadkill Candy here today, and today what I want to cover is collector edition from video games tarot deck. So in other words, the tarot deck was one of the items that came with the collector edition, or pre-order. So that does not include Etsy decks, so we're not talking about Etsy decks even if there's video games, like here's a Pokemon one and here's a Zelda one, right? And that's not what we're covering, and that also means that we're not covering anime decks that are similar or like tarot. So I want to get back to just this, and I want to talk about the different decks because you may not be aware that a lot of video games come with pre-order decks. So the main way they come is just the Major Arcana. Of course, in Persona, they split it up into two. The cards are not very good quality, of course, with the pre-order. Honestly, if you want a Persona deck, I suggest going with one on Etsy. But, of course, we're talking about the official one, so I assume it's more of a collector thing that you want. But, like, don't use these. Seriously, the paper on your printer, like the cardboard that you will print things out on, is thicker than this. It's just that this is glossy. Like, it's really... Other than keeping them in a box and being like, I love these, I wouldn't use those ones. Now, Dishonored, which is probably the most common one that you'll find. So this shows you how to play. So, as some of you might know, tarot, before it was used for divination, was like a playing card game, French tarot. And so as you can see, it's like a playing card deck. But they changed the suits. This one, they do give you the Major Arcana as like an actual Major Arcana. If you, say, got the Assassin's Creed one, it's going to have numbers on the sides and stuff. And then again, it goes into this. Heroes of Might and Magic 6 Collector Edition also has it. And the Assassin's Creed one, I believe, came with, not Syndicate. It was the multiplayer one, I believe it came with, because that's the one during the French Revolution, which is when French tarot was played. So, if you're interested in the history of it, those are those kind of tarots decks. And then the one I want to get into is the only full deck one that I know of is the Dragon Age one. So Dragon Age Inquisition, I do not have the deck, but Dragon Age Inquisition came with a full deck, and before it even came out, people were asking, you know, I don't want the game, can I buy the deck off you type thing online. I never had one, I just had regular edition. But for a while it had gone up to 300, the cards for Dragon Age Inquisition. It's gone down several times, mostly because I think people are worried if the decks are real or not now. Because there's this one guy on Etsy that keeps selling it, and I swear, I don't know how a person could have like 50 decks from a collector version practically. Like, if you look, he'll have one at a time, and he sells it, and then he puts a new one up. So, I mean, it's possible. He could, she could. But I just feel like it's so unlikely. And for the price, you would want the real one. Also, I've noticed whoever's gotten it out of the collector edition has been like, oh, these feel great. And a lot of people that buy it online, just the deck, are like, oh, these feel pretty flimsy. So I don't know if it's the fact that gamers are like, oh, these are cards, I'm happy to get them. They're not paper, they're cardboard. Or if it's like tarot readers are going, hey, you know, I can't actually use this because this is going to get destroyed, and someone doesn't know if they're just collecting it. I don't know if that's what's happening. But they do have a deck. It's one of the only full ones I know of that's not like the French tarot style. I also want to point out, yes, Final Fantasy Type 0 came with cards, but they were like 4 or 5 cards of summons, not actually a tarot deck. So what I want to get into next is Bayonetta 2 had a tarot deck. It's very Aztec style, or think of like the Mew from Pokemon, the original movie, the collector card. It's like kind of like that style art. It's just the Major Arcana, 22 cards. And there's no numbers, no words on it. The only one I recognized was the Fool. It's nice if you like Bayaneta, or if you like collecting nerdy tarot decks, and that could be a thing. But if you want to read with it, I don't know if that's something you'd want to do. I don't have a copy. Again, I'll just show you a picture. You can Google it. They actually run for a lot of money now. So is the collector's edition. A lot of collector's editions eventually go down, but it seems like some of them, I don't know why, some of them just stay up. Next tarot deck is Tactics Org, done by the person who did the art for Final Fantasy, apparently. You also can get a straight-up tarot deck by the same artist in Japan. People will advertise it as the Final Fantasy Guy tarot deck, and it's not Final Fantasy. But anyways, Square Enix game, Tactics Org, has 22 cards. Very nice art. If you don't like borders, don't buy it. Because it's $300 of a deck, and so if you trim those, you're crazy. I'm sorry. At that price, you want to keep them like mint and never use them, and look at them for $300. Like, I would never use a $300 deck. I want to own it, but I would never use it. The next deck to talk about is recently, this month, there was a Labyrinth game. It was, hang on. It was Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, the collector edition. Came with a deck. It was like $50 for the collector edition. Completely sold out now. Scalping market has, I guess it wouldn't really be scalping because it's past its due date. Scalping's usually like if it runs out because people bought it for investment, whereas it ran out because everyone loved it. But anyways, that would be the art from Disgaea. So that game has a 22 tarot deck, as well as Anima, Gate of Memories, has a tarot deck. That game is indie. The cards look great. They're a lot more 3D. I kind of like the Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk's deck better when it comes to just the straight up 22 cards kind of thing. Yeah, so is there any tarot decks that you guys really know of that is specifically a pre-order bonus video game tarot deck? Because I've been trying to research it, and usually when I try and look it up, because I wanted to make this complete video, and I'm sure I'll make an update to this video with more decks, but I've been looking up for months trying to find all these different decks, and I lucked out with this one. This one, you're probably going to pay about $40 once you include shipping, unless you can find it in your city. Then it's going to be like 20-ish, because 20 shipping, 20 for the cards. If you own this and you sell it, you're only going to make about 20. But when you look up decks, you're mostly going to find Etsy decks, and I'm not really going to go in depth with all the different ones you can get, but everyone seems to only know about these, and the Etsy decks are different than, of course, a pre-order, because an artist went and made these, or maybe a group. I asked on Tarot Nerds, I've asked on forums, Facebook, game groups, and a lot of times people will send me to the same article that gives you 5 decks. It'll have this deck, it will have the other Legend of Zelda deck, the watercolor one's a little bigger. It will have the older version of the Pokebox Tarot deck, and then has Dragon Age and something else. And the thing is, that's all I really could find online for them. I know a bunch of them have had it before. There's usually anime, a lot of them come with magazines, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure had some come in a magazine, or Sailor Moon in Germany. But, the video game ones, of course, come with the game that I'm looking for when it's like the official one. There is official ones that don't come with the game, but they're different. Like there's Rebirth of Issac has one for 40, which is completely sold out and has been for years. And then, of course, there's the Undertale one, which is not for the use of divination. It's basically like their own version of a major Arcana, 36 cards of events that happen in the game. But, yeah, I have not seen any... Like, these ones I have specifically from Persona Q. The set that is from the fighting game, that set is heck of a lot easier. They're not worth much at all. But again, it's easy to pick them up, but look at this. There's even tabs, like, I did a full review on these on my channel, which I suggest you looking at, where I go in depth on these. But yeah, so my main question to you guys is, have you gotten any pre-order video game tarot decks, like specifically from video games, collector editions and all that? Do you like it? How's the quality on them? You know, maybe you guys could give me a list and put in the comments which ones you have, what game had it, so I can make a more complete list, because if you go to a tarot forum, nobody knows these exist excluding Persona, really. And that's really a shame, because I like the art so much. A lot of them, I admit, they're so thin. You probably never want to use them. Like, if you ever see anyone handling the anima deck, I mean, they hold it like they're holding paper, right? Like a bookmark or something, not a card, per se. So, it's probably super thin like this, that deck. But yeah, let me know in the comments, you know, what's your favorite pre-order bonus? What's your favorite deck? Is there any Etsy decks that you like? I will eventually go over another video covering nerd decks. Probably one of Etsy decks. But I just wanted to cover this, because I just, there's nothing on YouTube. There's almost nothing in articles online. Like, I think I found one article, and then there's a bunch of articles on the Persona deck, right? And then it pops up with sales of, do you want to buy the Dishonored deck? So I really want to do that. I'm sorry I'm rambling a bit. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will cover more. I just, you know, I need to do some more research, and I want to know if you guys can help me. Thank you so much. Bye.